Are you the kind of person that's always been the guy? You know, when somebody has a problem they don't know how to fix, drain stopped up, they call you and ask for advice. They call you and ask you to come over and help them fix it. Family members call you because their furnace isn't running, because their car's not starting, or like my granddaughter did not long, been years ago. Started to say not long ago. Like my granddaughter did when she locked herself out of her car. Panicked, but she knew if she called Grandpa, it's taken care of. Yes, I've always been the guy. The very home I live in, the shop that's behind me, I built by hand. With the exception of my son and my brother-in-law helping me with the shop, I did it all by myself. Now, I did hire a couple of guys to hold and believe me, that's what they were, guys to hold the other end of the board when I built the house. Nice enough guys, but they weren't carpenters. But I really didn't want carpenters. I'm a carpenter. I just needed somebody to hold the other end. And worked out fine. They gained some experience. I got my house built, and everybody happy. But now fast forward, well, 30 some odd years. The roof that I framed, that I put the shingles on, I can't get off the ladder onto the roof. My legs turn to rubber as soon as I try to get up there. The shop behind me, I haven't cleaned the gutters all last year. I can't get up there. I don't know what's going on. People say it's old age. Well, that sure crept up on me quickly. I thought I had time. I thought I had some more years that I could do things. No. Dennis Waitley talks about time the speedster takes its toll, and every day's my Super Bowl. If we don't prepare for it, if we don't plan for it, you get caught unaware. Now, I shouldn't be unaware because I knew this day was coming. But we went to COSTCO's just the other day. I finally gave in because every time we're there halfway through, I have to go back to the car and my wife finishes shopping. Now, she's kind of okay with that because she doesn't have me rushing her. And I'm kind of okay with it because I get to sit in the car on my phone. But I don't like leaving her. So this time, I did something I've never done before. I grabbed one of their scooters, and I'll show a clip of it in a minute, because it highlights, for me, the day I realized I can't do everything I used to do. Now, I don't know how you handle it. I hope you handle it better than I have been. But I haven't been real happy about it. I still, in my mind, can think it all through. But my body just doesn't want to go along. Now, part of it's probably I got a leaky valve in my heart or something. They're talking now about what they're going to do and what's wrong and all that stuff. All I care about is I want to get my energy back, my stamina back. But until then, I'm learning. And every day is a process. And I'm learning how to do things while I still have the energy, such as shooting this video this morning and getting out into fresh air instead of sitting in my tiny studio. But how do you handle it? Let me know in the comments down below. I really am interested because at 70, well, 70 and a half now, I I watch people like old Mike, old me living better, 82. He seems to have more energy than I have. Now, maybe he just hides it better, and he's already learned how to work around it. But I don't plan on giving up anytime soon. I don't plan on giving up at all. So if you're approaching retirement age, my advice, just a few things that I've thought of, is try to make things as old man proof as you can. That's not a good way to say it, but you know what I mean. The first thing I would recommend if you're approaching retirement age is declutter. If I turned this camera around and you saw the contents of my side of the garage, you'd unsubscribe, run, and block me. I've been a hoarder most of my life. Well, I got divorced a lot and lost everything. It happened more than I care to share. And part of what it taught me was when you have something, hang on to it, because somebody's going to take it. You know, we had a break-in and people came in and took it. But the important thing now is I always felt that I didn't need to worry about that. I always felt that, okay, they took it. I can rebuild it. I can start over and I can rebuild it. Well, I've started over 5 times in my life. The last time I started over, I didn't start from scratch. We had significant rental property, and the home I live in, I was building homes, and I built this one on spec, and it just didn't sell. It's funny because my mom said, well, son, there's a reason why it hasn't sold. It's a beautiful home. It should have already sold. There must be a serious reason. Well, yeah, I know the reason now. God knew I was going to need a home, so it didn't sell. I had a couple of offers, but they weren't for enough. I just hung on to it. It's a good thing I did, because I gave her everything else, and I kept this. Well, this had the largest amount of debt on it, $85,000. Like I said, I built it myself. So if you're getting ready to retire, you need to plan ahead, declutter, make things so that you don't have to get up on a gutter to clean out the gutters, because the time will come, like it has for me. So learn from my mistake. I can't get up to clean the gutters. I can't get up to fix a few shingles on my roof that I built. So you need to plan ahead for that, especially if you've always been not just the guy for yourself, but the guy for your neighborhood, your family, your coworkers, the person that they turn to, either to get help on getting it done or to advice on how to get it done. I can still give advice. I just can't get up on the roof anymore. I had a really bad incident about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I fell off the back of my pickup truck. It had raining lightly, and I was swapping out washing machines. And I was so tired of messing with the washing machine, I just told my wife I'm buying one off of Marketplace as a backup. And that way we always have one working one. Well, I was swapping it out on the back of my truck. Light rain, just enough to make everything slick. I ended up falling backwards, slammed my head into the concrete hard. She's always, my wife always wants to show the video to people. And they always say, no, I don't want to see that. But I'm lucky to be here. A lot of people have said most people wouldn't still be standing and walking, let alone able to do some of the things I can still do. But I grew up in a time where if I didn't get off my butt and go do it, it didn't get done. Not just at work, but at home. And I like nice things. So I would go earn money to buy nice things. But I'm really interested in how do you figure these things out? What have you done to plan ahead for the time when you can no longer do it for yourself? Because I really think that the guy that's always just hired some handyman to come do it, he doesn't have to make this kind of adjustment. He's never been able to do it. We've always done it. We've always done it for ourselves. And now we can't. Because I think it's so much more difficult for us older, the guys, when the time comes for us to admit what we can no longer do. It can be hard. So let me know in the comments how you deal with this. What you've done, I guess the transition, I'm learning. My trip to COSTCO and using the scooter for the first time, that was a big step for me. That was a big step of saying, okay, I'm acknowledging I don't have hips for this anymore. Yes, I need to walk. I just don't have the hips to do it an hour nonstop. The ankles aren't much better either. But that exercise I need. To get things moving, I need. My cardiologist hasn't told me yet how much he wants me to get my heart moving, but he does want to keep it moving. That's why they gave me a pacemaker. I think there comes a time in life for all of us when we have to accept the season that we're living in. And I heard somebody put it that way recently, and I thought that's a brilliant way of looking at it, because that's exactly what it is. I'm no longer the most important member of the household. At one time I was the breadwinner. My wife used to joke to everybody and say, I have to take care of him. He's my meal ticket. Nobody was her meal ticket. She earned everything she ever got. That's why when I set up my pension, I set it up. I made sure the entire point of working at the mill for 8 years was to build a pension that she would be getting after I'm gone. That means the world to me. How do you handle it? I'd really be interested. Let me know in the comments down below. How do you handle transitioning from one season of life to the other? And let's face it, if you're 65 and older, you are transitioning to the scooter crowd. God love you if you don't have a problem with your body. But most people I know 65 have some sort of problem. Many of them hide it well because we don't want to have a problem. We don't want to have to go over and get a scooter. But life is a constant state of change. And I've reached the point, like many before me, and there'll be many after me. I'm at this season of life that I just have to go use a scooter. So it was time for me to accept at 70 that I've entered the season in life where I ride the scooter. But it was pure joy to be able to go through the entire store and not have any pain. So what little embarrassment I thought I would have for utilizing the scooter I didn't have. For over a year now, that's been stopping me because I've always been a man's man. I don't understand that phrase, but you know what I mean. I've always been the kind of guy that, no, I'll muscle through it. I'll forge ahead. No. How stupid is that? Knowing in 10 minutes, I'm going to be in severe pain for hours because my pride, my ego, I'm not going to sit down on the scooter. That's for old people. Well, guess what, Chuck? You're old. Some people would say you're ancient. Many have said, okay, boomer. So now I'm a member of the scooter crowd. And I'm happy about it because I can do it without pain. My advice is don't let your ego or your pride stop you from utilizing the scooter. If walking the store will put you in pain for the rest of the day, it's best to use the scooter. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? How do you feel about sitting in the scooter? I can tell you this, your perception of the store changes dramatically. I'm 5'11". When I sat in the scooter, I don't know what, 3.5 feet, just the change in height gives you a completely different perspective. There's things that I noticed that I didn't notice before, and there's other things that I knew were what I was looking for, but I had difficulty finding it because I couldn't see it. So it is a change, but it's one that I'm very glad that I made. And like most things, now don't ever let my wife know this. It's like most things with men. If I would have listened to my wife a year ago, I would have been saving myself so much pain. And as my wife and I remind ourselves, we don't like to see each other in pain unless we're causing it. I tell my wife that all the time. I say, oh, honey, I'm really sorry you have such a headache. And she says, why? You didn't give me the headache. I said, yeah, I just hate seeing you in pain that I'm not causing. There's something really special about growing old with someone. Really special. So if you found any of this encouraging, if you found any of this helpful, useful, encouraging, hit the like and share button. It means a lot. And leave a comment down below. Comments mean more to me than anything. I answer everyone, and I appreciate every one of them. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, folks.